everybody, welcome to episode 127 of Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Today we're going to be talking about the Red Wings have 9 games left. We got swept by the Senators. That's always fun. That was the right thing. That's what we wanted. That was one of our hopes heading into like the last chunk of games, that we would lose everything to the Senators. Mission accomplished. And also, Mike, there's going to be hell to pay because Magnus Hellberg signs with the Wingdings. We'll figure out what happens there. There's the report that we'll get into it, but the report that he is signed to an NHL contract, which does mean if we try to play him, there's potential that somebody else is going to pick him up. So we'll see what happens here. See if Magnus can get into the lineup.
That means maybe somebody's going to be climbing that little waiver wire, huh? Looking at you, Calvin. Looking at you, Thomas. Ta-ta.
Performance Arts here. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Matt.
Chewy's here. He's already singing. Bring
on the Berggren.
Now, Chewy, Matt learned a lesson today. I hope I wasn't the only one. 9 games left. We've been calling for Berggren to get that call up. Was told by the Max Boltman himself, and I'm a big dum-dum. And you know what? I've been saying this for a long time on the show, and nobody's called me out in the comments. So honestly, shame on all of you too. But Max threw out there, he's older than 20. So you bring him up for 9 games, you're using a year of that entry-level contract. So if we do that, bye-bye full year entry-level contract. Or we can keep him in the AHL and keep those 3 years on the entry-level contract. So honestly,
Matt, we knew. We just wanted you to feel good.
So at this point, my opinion on it is changing. I think I just want to get through this season. I don't know. Mike, does that change anything for you? Knowing that you burn that whole year of ELC, does that change? Do you still need to see Berggren up here?
Hell yeah.
Okay. You and Chewy
didn't change a damn thing.
Yeah, Chewy, let me know if I was the only one that knew that. But
Matt, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know you like to beat yourself up over this, and nobody really cares. It's fine. Matt, you moved on from Magnus really quick. How old is that guy? Don't look.
He's 31.
I said don't look.
He's not. You asked how old is he? I have the answer off the top of my head.
I didn't know he was 31, man. I thought this was like, the Avalanche had their big signing, some turd out of Minnesota today. I thought we were getting a kid, not a 31-year-old man with responsibilities.
Well, yeah, we're going to get into it. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
I have
organically
set up. No.
I'm so excited, man.
It's going to happen structurally. We have a slideshow.
Structurally.
We have a slideshow that I take the time to build. So we're going to go through the slideshow and get to Magnus in due time.
All right. I'll let it go, man.
Chewy knows, or he knows now. He can wait till the preseason. All right. See, Chewy and I are kind of on the same page now. Like, it just feels like if you're going to burn that whole year of ELC, just keep him down. See if Grand Rapids can make it to the playoffs. These last 9 games. I mean, it's selfish of Red Wings fans. And I'm selfish. That's why I wanted it. It's selfish of Red Wings fans to say he needs to come up for those 9 games because it won't really do too much for his development when he's still playing professional hockey, even at, being at the minor level. He's still playing professional hockey. He's playing games that matter. I got to stop clicking my chapstick. There it goes. I'm sure that sounded great on the microphone for the first, how many minutes have we been recording? 5 minutes, and I'm just snapping my chapstick over and over. But anyway.
We had a metronome going over there.
Performance is thrown out there too. No way. Leave him down there. There's absolutely no point to bringing him up. Jared's giving us all the stats. He's got the 31, 4 games with the Rangers. He's talking now about Magnus. Oh, and that's not about Magnus. But yeah, Jared, we'll get to Magnus in a little bit. But yeah, he does throw out there. Grand Rapids is fighting for that final wild card slot, so just keep Bergman there, and we won't waste the ELC year. We'll be fine. Let's just get through this year. And Mike, we're getting through it. 4-1 against the Ottawa Senators. As you can hear too, I'm still super duper sick. Oh, and I forgot, Mike. I was gonna do a shot for this episode. Let me. We're gonna do a shot.
Man, we thought you were just doing sexy voice.
We're gonna do a shot of NyQuil.
Yeah.
So by the time we're done recording, Matt can just go to bed. I thought that would be fun for y'all to see if I get any.
Sweep him away, Sandman. That's what we're saying here. Matt, I'm going to say when I had COVID, I didn't take cough medicine as much. I just took pain meds. And it really helped with the throat stuff.
It does. I'm having trouble sleeping too, which is another element here. But yeah, I mean, I'm going through the sore throat. I have a constant runny nose, the headaches, just running the gamut here. So cheers to y'all. I don't know if this is going to get taken down by YouTube now, and they're going to say like, drug use or something.
Live drug use. Yeah. While you're doing that, I'm just going to brag. I got this one's from Baltimore, Maryland. It's called Sweet Baby Jesus. It's a chocolate peanut butter porter. It's wonderful.
Jared throws out there, ibuprofen was candy for me. Oh, you know what? Can I talk about this? Can we banter for a little bit? I know we always do hockey, but all of our friends are here. Curtis is aboard, but Mike, I'm actually losing my goddamn taste. From COVID. Everything is starting to taste like mint. It's the worst. Like, I don't know if it's actually mint or it's just my tongue trying to find something, and it's just like firing off different, like, this is mint. But I had a pickle today that tasted like mint. I had an Oreo last night that tasted like mint, and it wasn't a mint Oreo. and I had chicken wings from Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner, and they tasted like mint. So,
how are you going to use your new powers?
I don't know. I don't know if that's good. That seems like it'll
Maybe you should eat like ghost peppers and see what happens.
Well, what I need is like toothpaste to taste like pizza, because then I just like I'd have the freshest.
What if those switched? You'd be brushing your teeth all the time.
Yeah, exactly. This is the opposite. I'm going to taste my own disgusting breath and be like, no, I'm good. That's nice and minty. And instead, it'll probably smell and.
Do you think if you had a big bite of tooth decay, what do you think it would taste like?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping I keep the mint for now. But yeah, it's not doing good. Actually, the NyQuil kind of had a little minty bite to it too, and it is cherry flavored. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it means to lose your taste. Like I had an idea, but also when people, find out what it means to be colorblind, and you and I are both colorblind, they think we see in black and white, and it's not that. It's that everything's kind of like distorted. It's like you took the color wheel and just kind of like went like that. So
when
yeah,
you lose your sense of taste, everything just goes mint.
Mm-hmm.
You just default to mint.
It's awful. Those are the worst chicken wings I've ever had.
My significant other, she lost her sense of taste for a little while. But I think she just, everything tasted super bland. She didn't get the mint that you had. But yeah, I mean, you need to, just like Jared said, go eat an onion on screen. I think you should taste a whole bunch of foods, like line up a bunch of weird foods, like onions, ghost peppers, like an earthworm, and see if they all taste just like mint.
Does it have to be a ghost pepper?
I like that you didn't say the earthworm. You were okay with that part. The ghost pepper was your concern, not the earthworm.
Whoa. Peppers, Mike.
Come on, man. I'm not eating no. Who hasn't had a couple of earthworms in marinara? I mean, you get low on spaghetti,
Jared does recommend I go off screen and find an onion to chow down on. Curtis threw out there. He wants to make sure I'm not pregnant. That weird taste changing thing was
Man,
one of
we
my
also
wife's
do a
pet
live pregnancy test on the show.
I can do that. I know that. I know how that'll turn out.
Do you?
Ketzel says, he couldn't taste chicken properly for a solid 3 to 4 months. All I could taste was burnt chemicals. I'm on that same, I don't know, table since I tried my chicken wings tonight, and I did not taste chicken. Chewy has a really interesting one. He didn't lose taste or smell with COVID, but started liking potatoes that I was allergic to as a baby. So Chewy's one of the few people who's benefited from COVID because now Chewy can enjoy one of my favorite foods.
Wow.
He also suggests we go jalapenos.
No, we're going top shelf, Chewy. We're making Maddie ghost peppers.
All right, let's go through this ghost pepper of a game. 4-1, Ottawa. We lose all 3 games to Ottawa this year. So arguably a good job. Yeah, we did it. Mission accomplished again, like I mentioned before. There's something here that you probably don't want to go through a game against Ottawa and see these kind of deep cut analytics, Mike, as you like to put it. Senators owning 60% of the chances, nearly 60% of the attempts on net. It's just all around. It was one that was close, and it ends with a couple of empty net goals, but not one that we should be too excited about. Just definitely was not fun to watch in any way, shape,
It
or form.
was fun to have 2 extra excuses to say Tim Stützle, but yeah, not the funnest game of all time. It was like you said, more about having your vitamins, having your vegetables, because we need to get some more losses to kind of flutter down the standings. Because right now we're still kind of, kind of like a puffer fish. We're still kind of not quite dropping down. We're still kind of hovering. We really need some wins here out of Buffalo, and Ottawa has to beat more teams than just us. This is not looking good. We're running out of games to fall. Now it's looking like our best chance is maybe like 8th.
Yeah, we'll get to the standing. We have a slide to get to for the standings. I didn't leave you. I didn't let you down this time, Mike. We got a.
Oh, I love slides.
Standings. But first, there were some highlights to this game, and I figured since it was such a downer, there's got to be something we can pull from it. But we do have a power play goal by Tyler Bertuzzi. Now, Tyler, what we're missing here on the replay, Tyler's throwing this puck back himself over to Moritz Seider. Tyler's taking a little spin around behind the net. So you see he disappears on the replay here. Seider throws the puck at the net. It actually goes behind the net and right to Bertuzzi, and Bertuzzi finishes it off. Now, let me see. Do we actually get, is this just celebration, or do we get a good replay? All right, we don't get a good replay. It's my own fault. It's my own replay. But anyway, Mike, here's the question. Now, this is a great play either way. If Seider's getting this off and bounces off the goaltender for a rebound goal, it's great. But it's going behind the net and going right to Bertuzzi's stick. Mike, did Seider do this on purpose?
Man, this was 100% on purpose. That was a brilliant move. It actually brought a tear to my eye, not just because it reminded me of something smart Lidstrom would do, but it made me think of Joe Louis with what they always called the super active boards. And it looked like Mo really knew how to use those active boards to find a wide open Bertuzzi on the other side. Yep. Ketzel, my man. Right, like a classic JLA. Exactly. On this show, you guys go ahead, give me grief. I still want to put Razzle Dazzle Zegras as Rookie of the Year, but Mo is the best player, best rookie this season, and it's just another example. I every game there's at least 3 to 4 plays like this where you're like, my God, we're so lucky to have this guy. He's maybe the smartest guy in the ice, and Chewy missing the Joe bouncy boards as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was it for me that made this a set play, is that Bertuzzi's going down low and gets the puck back to Seider, right? So this is something where when they're in this position, they know they can set it up this way because Bertuzzi goes right around behind the net, and Seider knows that it's his turn to shoot the puck. So not only is this a good play by Seider because he executes. But Mike, this is a Tungay power play.
No,
this is a Tungay power play goal because he actually had this play set up and ready to go. Is my best bet. So the very little creativity we've seen all year is probably finally executed.
Can I say, like, all right. I'm most guilty of this on this program, of the Zegras razzle dazzle, right? But that's only because Mo has not always shown, all his trick plays. But man, that Joe Louis goal that he assisted on right there, the only comparison that I could think of is when they invented the alley-oop in that Jackie Moon basketball movie with Will Ferrell, where when the alley-oop first happened, people's minds exploded and they tried to blow a foul because they didn't know you could do that. That's such a brilliant move. I feel like more teams should be just taking advantage of bouncy boards and doing more like, I'm gonna call that an alley-oop goal, an alley-oop assist from Mo Seider, because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like Mo was playing for the Flint Tropics in that highlight, man.
Well, Mike, we got you're always excited to talk about Zegras and his special goals.
Yes, I am.
And there's been a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we could count them on one hand. But
yeah, five-fingered hand.
Yeah, if we're getting into double digits though on the reverse hit from Seider.
Oh yeah.
This one is on the much hated, thanks to the first game of the season that you and I both attended. But here's Joseph coming in, and Seider again. I will contend that he's playing possum. This is his new game. He knows that people are coming for him, and he's just trying to make it look like he doesn't see anybody coming. And it kind of looks like too, like if you look at this angle that Joseph's taking, he's trying to come up from behind. But Seider's just gonna shoulder him right down to the ground. So, but this is just another one. Now, I will say you get those plays off the boards, Seider to Bertuzzi goal, and whether or not it was a setup play or it's just Seider's own brain, he still had to execute. This is all Seider's own brain. This is him again. I will say.
Are you playing the replay right now?
Yeah. Oh.
Because we don't see it, Matt. It just sounded like you were watching something on your own.
I was watching it all alone. It was really great. Boom.
Wow.
I can't believe I've been watching that for like a minute and a half and describing it.
Yeah, we were like, we want to see. Come on, Matt.
Well, I wanted to give the YouTube viewers a chance to know what it feels like to be a podcast listener for a bit. Look, I got COVID fog. All right, it's coming in hot. I haven't even pulled down Chewy's comment from like 10 minutes ago. But all right, so there was some narrative there with what's going on. But yeah, you could see where Joseph's coming up from behind on Seider. I again, all I was saying was that Seider's playing possum, and he's knocking these guys out, and I think he's enjoying it. I think he's having a good time with this. But yeah, just to let this sucker roll and just see Joseph take one right in the teeth. It's pretty fun.
Have you ever looked into the translation for Seider? Does it mean like mountain with owl eyes? Because I don't know how people keep trying to ascend that mountain, and I don't know how Seider sees these guys when they're coming up from behind.
I think he's got great periffs. I think
outstanding periffs.
Yeah, these are the best periffs in the game. In fact, we're gonna coin that term, the periffs. It's just like it's as good as Selly, I think.
Oh, not a big fan of Selly. Do like periffs though. Do want to hear more of that, less of Sellies.
So what else did we have happen? Does anybody want to see a Zadina highlight where nobody scores? We've got. I mean,
it's okay if you don't have it queued up, but do you have the one for Rasmussen where he almost scored?
Yeah, I have that one.
If only because I don't know how many hot streaks we're gonna see out of our boy Raz, but this feels like it. And even though it wasn't a goal, I still counted it as a goal. Like I tallied it on my score sheet at home.
Yeah, I mean, this is something too where the conversation has to start. Where Rasmussen is starting to play. I I don't know how I want to define it, right? Because as a big boy, we want to see him out front, but it's kind of like he's taken over himself maybe and making his own choices to just, you know what, I can control the puck, I can stick handle a little bit. We know skating's a problem. So he gets to pick and choose when he's going to do these nice silky clean these maneuvers out in front of the net. And yeah, it's tough to put a finger on because I'm really happy. I think Ras looks like a completely different player right now. But yeah, there's still those elements too. Like this isn't what I think we all kind of adjusted our thought process on Ras. And if he's gonna play like this, we might have to adjust it again. Right? I mean, we didn't think this was a part of his game. And somebody tweeted at us last night, like they threw out there, you didn't think he could do this? Like, and then threw out, he used to do plays like this all the time, and whatever his pre-draft scenario was. I'm sorry, I don't know Ras off the top of my head, but I mean, what have we seen this year, Mike, to show us that these last couple of weeks are what Ras truly is? You know what I mean? So it didn't matter if he's done it in the past. Everything we've seen most of this year and last year was not this. So this is all good news for Ras. We're not complaining that he actually did do this or that he is putting these plays together. But yeah, this is just another I don't know, maybe another call to action for Red Wings fans to adjust the mindset for one of our prospects, because if this is the potential for Rasmussen, obviously this didn't go in, so this isn't like,
Right.
all right, now we have a first round pick. But these are completely different moves that show a level of confidence and swagger. I mean, this is confidence in his own abilities to just, no, I can just take this puck to the front of the net. I don't need to
Yeah.
wait for whatever play we had set up. I'm just gonna go steal the puck, and here I go. This is my play. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into that, more than just that was pretty looking. But did I pull it up? Oh my God, I didn't pull it up. Why didn't you say anything?
I was refreshing.
Oh, no.
Man, you got sound on too?
I know.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Anyway, Jesus. Here's the shot.
See, doesn't it feel like it went in? I know it didn't, but it's kind of like grading on a curve. Like for him to look, competent in that area of the ice, it just makes us feel better. That can I say it's sometimes at the end of the season, it kind of feels like some teams will kind of let certain players just go by.
Yeah.
And then you'll kind of get this aberration of like, oh wow, maybe this guy's actually panning out. But then when it's like the next season starts, it was just that, just a shimmer and not like the full truth. But he's still such a young dude, and hockey is maybe hockey and baseball kind of go hand in hand, where like development just seems so tough to really gauge. Everybody kind of going at their own speed. Who's to say this isn't Rasmussen kind of finally figuring it out? Obviously, no, I don't think he's ever going to be, skating like Larkin. But, we don't necessarily need him to do that. We just want him to use his big body, his big frame, and make plays like he is, in these, past couple weeks. So, it's encouraging and, something to be optimistic about. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna be happy with this this burst from him and hope it can keep going. And I think, what are we down to? 9 games left.
9 games. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, wouldn't mind seeing that continue for 9 games, and when we retool next year, hopefully,
all right,
keep it on that.
So I actually have the replay up this time. I'm looking right at it. It's on the screen.
Beautiful, and it's muted.
It's muted.
Awesome.
We did get a copyright claim on the last episode from Bailey.
Damn it.
I know. Now, this one was all about Zadina. I just wanted to call this out because this is something, it's so frustrating, because this is the kind of thing that he can do. He is capable of doing. We only got to see it one time yesterday. This doesn't even result in a goal. But it's like we play, we play these games this whole season of looking at Zadina's advanced analytics to say, it's a coming. Don't worry.
Right.
The 2 tons of goals, they're on their way. And then when they didn't happen last year, we are like, well, he's a playmaker. And then the plays didn't really happen this year. So we are like, well, he needs to get set up in his slot because he's a goal scorer. Here's him being a playmaker. Okay. I mean, dependent, like we were just talking about with Rasmussen, you have to continually change your mind on what kind of player he's supposed to be. We've done the same with Zadina, but here he is being a great playmaker, getting the puck into the zone. Maybe offside there. I just noticed that. Pretty close to offside. Anyway, Zadina's going to skate this thing all the way around the offensive zone. And you see what he does here is he gets one defender caught on the net, brings the other 4 Ottawa defenders to his side of the offensive zone and keeps them all moving. But what's going on? And we've got, I guess the most important thing is Walman moving into the bottom of your screen as Zadina comes up. I don't even know who got the puck there. But yeah, this gives Walman all the space in the world to get that shot off. So this to me is what's so frustrating is what he's capable of doing. And we don't even really talk about his ability to skate. He's not the fastest skater in the world, but I mean, here you can see he's using his body. He's using the space of the net to gain the advantage on the defender. And again, he's doing all of this, and it's going to make room for Walman to get this shot off right here. That's maybe just barely gets the kick save. Who was that? Forsberg last night. So it's just at least while we're trying to look at a 4-1 game and find things to talk about, there's a nice play. Great shot by Walman, by the way. It didn't go in, but that was a hell of a pick on where he wanted to put that sucker. And I mean, we've seen our boy DDK, put these on the heel of his stick. So it's good to see just a one-timer connect with the goaltender one of these times. So at least some positives from this game. There's some hits. There's some more hits from Seider too. Did I actually pull up that highlight? I did. See, COVID fog. I don't even remember what I've done. I don't know what I'm doing. The NyQuil's not going to help. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just the musings of a head sick madman. Yeah, I just like how we have to keep changing what success looks like for Zadina. He's a goal scorer. He doesn't score. Well, he's more of a playmaker. Well, he's not really making any plays that lead to goals. Well, he's not playing with Larkin. And then he plays with Larkin. He doesn't produce. Well, he's not playing with Austin Matthews. Then we trade him to the Maple Leafs. Well, there's a goalie in the net, and then there's an empty net. Well, he sucks. Okay, what do you want me to do? Okay, he doesn't suck. He's got a lot of potential. I'm just tired of saying it, Matt.
I know.
At some point, we'd like to see some results, but that was.
He's still young.
He is. I know. Just like Rasmussen.
One of our young guys. We already talked about him.
Uncle Mo.
What was that? 41 assists. Lidstrom's got 49 in his rookie season. Reed Larson, 41. So Mo takes over for Reed Larson, or at least one more assist will officially put him over Reed. It's the number 2 in most assists for a Red Wings rookie defenseman. Mike, is Mo going to beat? Could he tie Lidstrom or surpass him here? Keeping in mind, he's got 9 games to get the 8 assists to tie, or is he going to get 10 assists and leapfrog over Nick, be rookie defenseman, leader of assists for the Detroit Red Wings?
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. So here's my argument for.
You know what? We already got that 5 in the rafters, man. We could just add a 3 to it.
We've got a absolute ton of games left here against playoff opponents. So Seider is probably going to get a ton of minutes. So with all those extra minutes means more opportunities to get assists. It's just it's a lot to ask for more than an assist per game for a guy who's been putting up, what's a little more than half assist per game. So I think he can do it. I wouldn't put my money on it.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of games, and for me, it's not. I don't think anyone watching this show either. It's not like this is going to be the mark or measuring stick for him. He's already pretty close, and we already know he's going to be really good, especially if he can throw in some more of those alley-oop assists. But it'd be cool. But I'm okay with them not getting it. We have a pretty good idea this is probably going to be a Red Wing for the next 20 years.
Jared throwing out there. He's leading it on here. 9 games with 8 assists with the remaining schedule.
You don't want to get 9 and 9, I think.
And then thrown in there too. We've got those 2 games against New Jersey, which we'll talk about in a minute, are going to be our only 2 chances to get our head above water as the season continues to roll to its finish.
Hey, do you think that the Red Wings players keep it track of this stuff, and do you think they'll start trying to shoot more when Mo passes it to them? Try to get him those numbers?
That's
I know it's kind of weird because it's the assist, right? But I mean, trying to pad the stats a little bit.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? Because you're talking about if it was goals, you just start feeding him the puck more, and he's got to go put
shoot, right.
The puck in the back of the net. But now it's Seider just passed me the puck.
Seider has a wide open net. He has a wide open net on a 2-on-1, and then he just I'm going for that assist record, and he just passes it back.
How about more minutes when the net's empty, right? So Gagne's got the puck. He's at center ice, and he's going to look back to the defensive zone and throw it to Seider, and then Seider's got to get it back to Gagne for the goal.
Was that Blashill on the dry erase board? So here's the goaltender, and he's out of the game. So we're going to put in number 53. Here we go.
You got that open shot. You look back for Seider first.
Let him pass it back to you, and then you can score.
Okay? At that point, it's got to be on Jeff to shout out. From the bench, you just you're 16 or what 10? How many guys would actually? Oh my God, I can't do math right now. All the guys on the bench just shouting Seider. That's your job. When Seider's on the ice and the net is empty, you just start shouting Seider to make sure that whichever player has the puck knows to throw the puck back to Seider before you go in for the goal.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. No, it's an easy concept. Players on the bench got to shout out. It's just like when you shout pass, when you're in the NFL and there's a pass and defense is on the field. You yell pass or you yell run once you realize which one is which. You just don't want to screw over your teammates. All right. Yeah. What else do we have to talk about? All right. We've got the end of the season schedule pulled up here. Just what Jared was saying. We've got 2 games against the Devils. But here's what we've got coming forward. Coming ahead. Right. Hurricanes in the playoffs. Rangers, playoffs. Panthers, a couple of times playoffs. Lightning, obviously playoffs. Penguins, playoffs. Maple Leafs, obviously playoffs. So, Mike, we might have the hardest schedule of any team to end the season. And while, nobody's really fighting for a spot there, for to get into the playoffs, they're fighting for that actual spot at the end there. We got to get some home ice. What do you think?
Thank God the Devils are down there because that would almost be a 10-game losing streak to end the season.
We did beat the Devils 5-2, I think, earlier this season. So we did pretty good.
Hurricanes on the road. The Rangers will be in a revenge game. The Panthers just annihilate us. Tampa Bay likes to kick us in the fanny. Oof. Pittsburgh. Oh, my God. Toronto. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is going to be rough, man.
This is a lot of games in a short span, too. A
lot of games and a lot of hard games.
So you've got
what is that? Thursday, Saturday, Sunday? Yeah.
Yep. And then you've got the one Monday off, and then you're going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday again, and then run it into another Tuesday game with just the Monday off. So, this is not looking great. So a lot of good teams, a lot of hockey, and a Red Wings team that's already shown us a few times that they're ready to go. They're ready to start golfing. Mike, do you see any 11-2 games? You don't have to pick a game here, but do you think we'll be able to hold down the fort? And
so for some reason, I do think that the 11-2 games are done. I don't think we're going to see any more of those because it was against the Poo Poo Coyotes. But I don't really see any wins, and I don't really see us getting any points until New Jersey.
Oh, Antonio throws in there. Oh yes. I don't know if that's for some 11-2 games or what, but he is excited.
I do spell a lot of losses.
Murdoch throws in there. Got a lot of first career hat tricks coming up. And Joey Furtaugh thrown out there. Boys, it's all going to be worth it when Shane Wright is centering the
Joey,
first line of the team.
God, I wish.
That's the scary part. Is that it feels like, do we already look at the standings? Where are my standings? I'm screwing this up. There they are. I did. All right. I screwed up my slides. After all my whining earlier in the episode about how I had structure, I did screw up the slides. Put them in the wrong order.
How dare you, man?
So we still have a lot of ground to make up. I think we might be looking at potentially 1 or 2 wins out of these last 9 games. And it's going to be rough to gain some ground. Because that right there, say you give us those 2 wins, so then we're at 70 points, and Ottawa's going to need to get 5 wins, right? Right there to hit the 70, so that they would jump over us. They've got the goal differential. They've got the better record than us or against us.
All right, Matt. Let's be honest. Our only real shot is Buffalo.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I'm going to give you, this is Buffalo's remaining games. You ready?
Go for it. Go for it.
All right, home for St. Louis. Back-to-back with the Flyers. On the road versus the Devils.
That could be 2 wins.
I like it. Home against the Islanders. And then at Boston, and then they close the season home against the Blackhawks.
I mean, I think they went out. I don't know if you saw that game against Toronto. Now that they have Owen Power, they are unstoppable. They took down Toronto 5-2. So, yeah, Buffalo's going to win out. We're going to lose out. But yeah, so we'll make it. We'll be that 25th seed. I'm going to put my stamp on it. Oh, you know what? Shoot, 75 games played. Yeah, I guarantee it. We'll be Buffalo will go past us. I guarantee that. How's that?
I don't think anyone in the show would complain, man. We'd be okay.
Well, nobody's complaining. Does anybody believe it?
No.
Yeah, well, you said you did. I meant people watching. You already said you believed it was going to happen, so you can't say no.
Man, I can flip-flop as much as I like.
All right. Well, I guess my own points, I brought up all my concerns, and they convinced you that we'll be stuck at the, 24th seed. That's where you're landing right now.
Wanted to bring up one just fun thing for you, Matt. Number 8.
So you're not going to answer my question?
No, I'm not. I'm going to dodge it.
Oh, my God. Sitting here, I asked you the same question a couple of times, and I'm hearing, nope, yep, uh-huh.
Yeah, I was not paying attention.
I know. That's what I'm getting at. I wanted you to admit it.
What's your question? About me flip-flopping?
No, I just wanted to know if you thought we were going to end up at 24 or 25. I didn't realize you were moving on to the next topic.
I think Buffalo's going to get a couple more points than us. So we'll move up to the 8th worst record.
All right, thanks.
I said that already. What do you want me to say? I thought I already said it.
No, I brought up, it's okay. We'll talk about it later. I brought up new concerns. Go ahead. What are you going to show me? You were going to show me something.
Never mind.
Really?
Yeah, well, I got to research it some more. I'll bring it up for the next episode. So to be continued.
All right. Well, we signed a guy. Brought it up at the beginning of the show. Magnus Hellberg, Mike, signed 1-year contract. We also got confirmation from, you know what? I don't want to screw up his name. He's actually a pretty good guy to follow. I think we brought him up on the last episode. Lars Thorzel. And also Ice Hockey Gifts confirmed it too. His contract is an NHL contract. So a couple of people were surmising that this was an AHL signing to help the Griffins make it to the playoffs. Now, we don't have any of this confirmed, but Hellberg himself said it was an NHL contract. Mike, we've got some pretty tasty numbers. Now, Jared threw out at the beginning of the show, we've got a couple of games in the NHL. One looks like one shellacking in 2015-16 as a New York Rangers goaltender. One game, his goals against was 6. Walked out of that game with a .667 save percentage. But since then, he's been amazing. A couple of games with the Rangers, then the next season, 2 games, .929 save percentage. But then he moved on over to the KHL. Just some amazing years here. 17-18, .926 save percentage, .239 goals against. He's playing for St. Petersburg. I believe that means he was playing with Pavel Datsyuk at the time. .940 save percentage, 1.32 goals against. In the playoffs, a .919, .168. Then we're moving into 2019-20, a .927 save percentage in the regular season, .977 in the playoffs, his 2 games in the playoffs. And then in 2021, gets a .930 save percentage in the regular season, .943, 10 games in the playoffs. And his last season, HK Sochi in the KHL, .917 save percentage, a .242 goals against. And I believe that tiny number is 37 games played. Also playing some international games for Sweden. The last couple of games, he's been around in the .930 save percentage, so things are going well there. He has had a couple of not so great games playing for Sweden. I see some .870 save percentages, some .880s, but that's fine. That's playing with a new team. Sometimes that stuff doesn't go the way you want. But, Mike, this is a 31-year-old guy, so this isn't like, oh, we signed our guy of the future. We signed a guy for 9 games. He's 6'6", 209 pounds. He was a second-round draft pick by the Nashville Predators back in 2011. All right.
I think what's stunning is that how incredible his numbers are. And it's like, it took him this long to come back to the NHL. It's like, well, who are the players who are better who are coming back to the NHL first? You know what I mean? But I have to imagine it was probably, contract related that he was, kind of hanging out over there for a while. But, it's those playoff numbers are pretty sexy, man. I don't know what we're really going to expect out of a 31-year-old dude. The only thing that I really expect is some sort of activity involving Grace. This feels like, the Joker throwing a few, toys down in front of some thugs and saying, I'm only going to take one of you into next season. So I don't know what this means for Pickard. I don't know what this means for Grice. It doesn't seem like it bodes well for either of those guys. And it feels like we're giving a tryout to a 31-year-old guy who's, kind of a carpetbagger, circulating around to different leagues. So hopefully it turns out well. Hopefully he can keep those, the success he's had in the past couple seasons, bring it here. But I don't feel good about Grice coming back next season.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have felt good about that anyway. He's been injured all season. He's been hot garbage in the net. He's just been a slice of Swiss cheese up there. So I think you're right to the point that this might be, if this actually is an NHL contract. I don't know.
Let me do this because
let me finish.
Let me finish. Yeah, because you're okay. I think I was too conservative with my point about Grice not playing next season. I don't even know if he's going to be around much longer this season. How else are we going to really let this guy audition if he's not getting,
Yeah, and that's where what I didn't get a chance to finish saying was that we're taking Hellberg's word on it that this is an NHL contract. I don't know, I would say let's just wait and see what the lineups look like, and then we'll know that Hellberg's actually playing for the Wings and not playing for the Griffins. So I'm I'm just gonna say that's where that information came from. So we're just gonna hold on before we make any big assertions here. But yeah, definitely, if that is true, I think it is one of those situations where the same way we're treating the left side of the defense, where it's like, well, just bring in 100 guys. One of them's got to be better than what we're rolling out there every night. And you run into a Jake Wellman. So let's see if we can run into a Jake Wellman. Let's see if we can get through the rest of the season. Have him play a couple of games, give Ned a little bit of rest there, and maybe steal a couple. Who knows? But yeah, that's definitely the vein where you want to have your headspace for this one. Now, Mike, that one came through, right?
Yes.
Signing for the Wingdings. One that didn't happen for the Red Wings. Mike, you were so wrong. You thought Ben Myers was going to Minnesota.
Yeah. The Minnesota native who went to school in Minnesota, played college hockey in Minnesota. He said, I want to win a cup. Woohoo! I'm going to Colorado, baby. Good for him.
I mean, if you're picking a team where you're going to have a chance to win a cup for the first few seasons of your career, Ben Myers nailed it. He signed with the Colorado Avalanche. I think the only thing to take away from this is just how disappointed we all are.
Yeah, I mean, the option was you could get a lot of ice time in Detroit. You could do a hometown kind of fun thing in Minnesota, or you could win the championship in your first season. And probably kind of hard to turn that down, man.
I don't know if he is eligible to play in the playoffs.
I think you're right. You're right. You're right. You're 100% right. You have to wait until he's not eligible. You're right.
All right, cool.
But I mean, Colorado probably going to be a contender next season as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Was he picked the team where he's going to have a shot at the cup for the next few seasons, as opposed to any of those other situations like Minnesota, who might take a huge dump in their pants in the next couple of years, paying guys who aren't even on their team, or the Red Wings, who were supposedly further along their rebuild than the Ottawa Senators, until we got beat the third time in a row. I did have to point out, Jared Shaw said he wants a deep fake of Yzerman breaking his stick and tossing it down to Grice, Pickard, and Hellberg. And Chewy thrown out there. We knew it was a shot in the dark to get.
I know, Chewy. I know. I just had pie in the sky dreams, and we didn't have a lot to root for this season, so it would have been kind of fun to see this guy for 9 games. And
Yeah, and I think it was Frank Saravelli that tweeted it out first, right? And I think the 3 teams he tweeted out, not one of them was the Colorado Avalanche. So I think we got more evidence to get. We don't need to get too excited.
It kind of felt like rich get richer, like the Yankees or the Lakers picking up somebody. Like, damn it.
It's funny, like we didn't sit there and play that game ourselves. Like, why wouldn't Ben make that choice? Like, just go to like the best team in the league. Yeah, it makes sense from Ben's perspective. You're going to get paid the same amount for any of these teams. So you are either going to be wined and dined by Stevie, you're going to stay home, or you're going to go win a cup. Yeah, and JM's thrown out there. Why'd he go to the Avs? Cup chasing. Exactly, JM. All right, Mike, those are all our show topics. When you get beat down and dirty by the Ottawa Senators, there's not much else to talk about. But does anybody want to talk about Chris Pronger?
I don't know if you guys are all on board with this, but Matt, you're going to have some more details for us in a second. But he was trying to break down what happens after an NHL player signs a contract, what it looks like, and how the money is like allocated to different parties, as far as like the NHL league goes, with like an escrow account with money going to the agents. And then kind of questionably, he made some comments about how the money's gotta go towards paying your taxes, which are really high because you're a millionaire. He made some comments about, oh man, you know how hard it is to pay off your $75,000 car. No, I have like a $19,000 Chevy Cruze that gets me from A to B, which I'm pretty sure they could, take that from Little Caesars to the airport. He got a lot of grief for it. I think that's why it started to go viral. I don't think that he was necessarily complaining. I genuinely think he was trying to educate us on what it looks like after you sign that deal.
Yeah.
But it definitely had some shades of Gwyneth Paltrow, where he mentioned the $75,000 car, which for some of us, that's like, almost the cost of our mortgage or like half a mortgage.
I thought of Arrested Development when they're trying to figure out how much a banana costs, and they're like, "What is it? $10 for a banana?"
Yeah, he's kind of been outside the like bubble, right? He hasn't been anywhere outside of like, a Corvette dealership. He's not really buying cars like the rest of us. So maybe that part we can excuse him for. But I will say, in his defense, Matt, I don't think that he was complaining. I think he was trying to be factual.
I agree with you. But I also want to give a shout out. Joey Furtado throwing out there. Andreasen, better than Myers. We'll cross our fingers on that one. Murdoch, yeah. I like this one. The Avalanche rivalry is back at the executive level. I like this comment because I thought of it earlier today, and I was trying to rank like who could have been the worst team to end up with Ben Myers. And I was thinking like Pittsburgh would suck, Toronto would suck, Chicago would suck. And then I started to think about like, well, no, this is Joe Sakic getting the one up on Steve Yzerman. So then that's where it started to burn a little bit more. So I agree with you on that one, Murdoch. Again, Sam thrown out there. Hopefully Andreasen outperforms Ben Myers. Hell 9001. Hellberg pickup, very shrewd, sensible move by Stevie Y. The Red Wings need a shakeup in their goaltending setup, and Hellberg will be motivated to play hard. It's very astute of you, Hell. I appreciate that comment. But yeah, I think we all want to see again, as Jared threw out there, he wants to see the deep fake. But this is Steve Yzerman throwing down the pool stick cue. Is it a pool cue?
I think it was a pool cue. Yeah.
Stick.
Pool
that
stick.
Break in half. Yeah, throw it down to the goaltenders. Last one remaining gets to be on the team next year. All right, so let's this is the Pronger tweet, and you're right, Mike. Pronger was educating. He's not whining when he does this, but I think one of the issues I ran into was some people got really bent out of shape that we were going to make fun of Chris Pronger, and I was kind of like, well, we make fun of everything on the internet. Why was this the thing that
this is not exempt?
So no. This is where I stand. I think these first two tweets, these are fantastic. Well, I mean, this one, who cares, right? He's talking about here's this player, his example player, 30 million over 5 years, 6 million per year. Jesus. And then he's breaking down this, which I think is very valuable. The owner revenues getting played through the escrow that gets taken out of players' revenues. This is something a lot of people don't know. I learned more because Chris Pronger shared this with this beautiful image. Right? So right off the bat, he says, escrow gets taken out of every check, on average about 10%. Most people have no idea about escrow. That's true. So there you're taking out your 10 down to 5.4 million. But this is where I said, I think this could have been a nice educational.
Maybe you just should have stopped tweeting right there.
Yeah. Federal taxes. Yeah, right. No, we know. We're all paying taxes.
Yeah, I just gave the government like $3,000, motherfucker, and I don't make $5 million a year. So right. that hurt. So that tweet I would have skipped.
Then he's talking about the agents, which we'll give him he gets credit for this one because it's like, all right, maybe agents don't deserve this much, or maybe players should just be, maybe they could learn how to negotiate themselves. And I don't say that tongue in cheek. I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm sure it's probably, they don't seem that complicated. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: you're paying the guy to nickel and dime. You're paying the agent to nickel and dime the team, so you're probably getting paid more because they're involved, and it's probably more than this $162,000. So there's two elements there. You can negotiate yourself, or you can nickel and dime your team to get as much as possible. I think that one again. I'm going to give him the nod and say that one's fine.
That one I'm okay with, because
right.
I'm shocked by numbers that come in by players all the time, and I'm going to give those guys credit for it. I will say, I think for good players, it might be easier to negotiate on your own, but for not poopy, but like C-level players, to get like competitive value for yourself, I'm basically validating that point. I would include it because I think it is harder for a C-level guy to like get what he deserves as a third or fourth line guy.
But now he gets to the parts of like getting a house for $5,000 a month. You've got your chiropractor and your masseuse.
Where is he renting a house for $5,000 a month?
Somewhere really
nice. It ain't Waterford, Michigan.
Vehicle, he needs a $75,000 car. He's got a nutritionist, $60,000 a year. That one's not too bad. That's pretty reasonable based on everything else he's paying for. I did. This is the house one just kind of bothered me, because if he just called out rent and he talked about how these guys mostly rent, that's a problem. And I think there might be,
so you think
there's an element here where he should be teaching young players to go buy a house, because guess what, Mike, you get to sell that house.
So you're saying this is Chris Pronger basically advocating for the Twitter edit button.
Well, he could pay for it, right? If you have the blue check mark, that means you've paid for the edit button.
Oh, I'm so behind on that. Okay.
I still get ads for that, I think. All right, where were we? So now we're at 43% of the total number, which again, we can't stress enough. We know that he's educating. Chris Pronger is not crying about any of this. He's not going like, oh my God, then I have to pay for my house. But again, our point was just, I think the main thing here was about the escrow, maybe bringing up the agent, but we all have taxes. We all have rent or a mortgage to pay, and it's probably not in a nice house that's $5,000 a month. I mean, like, I think one of the things here that was mentioned on Twitter was like, you just don't understand how many players end their career and they don't have any money in their bank account. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, oh, they should have made better choices. But what is the end game of having this then? Like, tweeting this out. Like, here is how all your money disappears. And my thing was, I had fun with this. And I said, what if this was all satire? And I actually went ahead and read it again and laughed pretty hard, because that would be pretty funny if Chris did this whole thing and like, oh, then I got to pay my rent. It's $5,000. So I had fun with it. People got really mad that folks were having fun with it. And those folks that were really mad about people having fun with it were asking us why we were so butthurt about this. Where I'm not necessarily butthurt, but I just wish we could.
I just wish
we have fun with this.
If it is satire, I think it would be funny if it was exaggerated even more. You know what I mean? Like, rent now is, $10,000 a month. Like, just really get it up there. Yeah. Like, the cost of his car is basically a Ferrari. You know what I mean? So now I'm doing another $11,000 a month on my car. Just absurd figures. What was there a closeout to this, or he just said, I'm going to have more of these in the future?
I think he was like, please follow me. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, were there any comments that came in? Because I was just wondering what the people thought.
Somebody said they miss Chris Pronger. Chewy throws in there, so many NFL guys have gone broke after retirement.
Oh my God, yeah, there's some incredible like historical bankruptcies with NBA players too, where those guys like went through like $150 million just gone from gambling and poor business decisions. Whew. That stuff's crazy.
Yeah, but not too much about this. I think we might have just been talking to ourselves here. Oh, but Chewy does throw out. He's driving a 2011 Saturn. Definitely not $75,000 car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of odd, right? Kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it was helpful. It was beneficial, but it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
I wish I knew how much Arrested Development, like how much the Bluths actually thought a banana costs. I can't. $10 doesn't seem high enough now that I'm trying to recall that story, but who cares?
I wish I actually had the examples for Gwyneth Paltrow. She wrote like a self-help book, but it was only for people who were like super elite. And it was picking like the right hardwood floor to make sure your maid doesn't scuff it up.
Yeah.
Like just madness, like things no normal person would ever dream to like even fathom she's giving advice on, But
yeah, I think Chris might be better served to like have an opportunity to speak with all the players. I think they get all those kids together for the draft. It might be tough to make.
He's
them
new
listen.
to Twitter. He didn't know we were going to eviscerate him. That was his first thread.
No, he got a ton of support. Apparently, we didn't fit in with like the hockey writers' take, which was, wow, this really. I didn't realize that hockey players pay taxes. I couldn't believe like the Wyshynskis of the world were like, whoa, no way. They pay taxes and buy cars and have a house and stuff. They were really floored by this. They just were shocked. But yeah, I think the juicy part here was escrow. Not so juicy that they have cars and houses and they pay for doctors. Like everyone else. I tried to go out there. I tried to argue like.
So after a really nice house and a really nice car, you only have like $2.5 million to do whatever the fuck you want with. Oh, what a bummer.
Now that is, remember, that's a guy too, like making $6 million a year. So we would look at that and say, wow, that's like Dylan Larkin level. So there are guys who make a lot less than that, but also like, I don't know. I make much less than that. So again, like if the point was these guys lose money, I guess you're just teaching some kids, like younger guys out there, that money is spent over time. That could also be it. I did notice a lot of the people that were really in love with this, I found out are a lot younger than us. They don't have mortgages. So, I mean, honestly, it could be one of those things where they haven't really like put together that all this stuff is happening and it happens every year and it happens every month of your for the rest of your life. So I thought maybe that was kind of it, because there were a couple of guys that we're actually friends with on Twitter that were really like angry that how dare you make fun of Chris Pronger. But I'm like, I don't know. You're talking about the things that I write a check for. I know
I make
that
much less, not than just like Chris Pronger. I make much less than like Giovanni Smith, Mitchell Stevens, Jake Wallman. These are barely NHL minimum guys. So I make much less than that. So, I mean, when I see what their annual salary is, taking into account the taxes, I would still be able to afford my whole life plus like almost $500,000.
Jared throws out there, I hear so little on Larkin's spending. Part of me thinks he still lives at home. So, Mike, you could be Larkin's neighbor. There you go.
It could be. I'm going to have to go door to door and see if he's just playing Elden Ring right now or something.
Exactly. Nothing against the educational element on this, but yeah. Sometimes when you get older, you have monthly expenses that make life more difficult. It's a thing about
I'm not crucifying him. There was interesting stuff, but
yeah,
there's some Paltrow in there. Come on, Hockey Right. I know you want a Chris Pronger interview next week, but come on.
I know. I think that's the other part of it too. I think there is that element where like we constantly take dumps on Darren McCarty, and we know he's never coming back to the show, so it's fine. But like if I ever thought Chris Pronger might be on this show at some point, maybe I'd look at this and be like, wow.
Yeah,
man,
here's a hot take. What if Nick Lidstrom had tweeted that? Makes a lot of good points. Some very cost-effective cars at $75K.
Yep. I mean, you'd see a million tweets. They don't call him the perfect human for nothing. He also knows man. All right, it's time to sail off into the sunset. Matt has had his NyQuil for over an hour, and I'm getting Jimmy legs down here. I think that's from Seinfeld, right?
I think that means you're shaking and jerking
Yeah.
and ready to go dancing.
Oh yeah, they're jelly right now. So Matt's
All right.
Matt's gonna go to bed. But thanks guys for keeping the chat up, even though we went off Red Wings topics and everybody wanted to keep chatting Red Wings.
I know, but we had to talk about Pronger. We had to.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Sunday. And have a good one, everybody.
Woo!